10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Boom, ladies and gentlemen, it's Wednesday night. It is Professional Wrestling's very own Wrestling Chat Room, Wrestling Radio Uncensored, the to-be-determined show right here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. I am the Orc of Ominous, the Architect of Intellect, the Wicked Nemesis, and joining me tonight is Mad Dog Matt Denton from way across the pond. Sir, how are you doing tonight?
I'm pissed off.
That sounds fantastic.
It isn't for me. I mean, I haven't gotten paid in 23 days. So I'm understandably pissed off, and I want my fucking money.
Give him his money,
Wicked.
bitches.
Yep. Wicked, please, hop on the fucking plane over here and kneecap this son of a bitch for me, please.
Right now I'm checking on my tickets.
Ladies
and gentlemen, and of course the Magic City Motor Mouth, Fast Eddie Lane. Eddie, how you doing tonight, sir?
Dude, it's been a great week. I have loved virtually every minute of it. Couple of bumps in the road here and there. Somebody almost got demo-hockeyfied, but that's an entirely different animal we'll talk about later. But you know something? Coming out of yesterday, the Beyond Ringside interviews with Tommy Taylor, Corey Chavis, and Gabe Sapolsky, and getting the podcast up and loaded, and now here live on To Be Determined. Let's rock these walls.
Hashtag steel horsing.
Oh yes, we're gonna go there. For those that have been living under a rock for the last few days of this week, something happened this past Saturday. For those that tuned in, actually got to hear the interview with the British Lion, Tommy Taylor, about that very incident. And we're not gonna pull any punches. We're gonna jump straight into it. Ladies and gentlemen, this past Saturday at Vintage Florida Wrestling, is that what it's called?
Yes, it is.
Vintage Florida Wrestling, an incident occurred between someone who calls himself a Vachon, Still Horse Vachon on top of that, and the British Lion, former WWE developmental talent, Tommy Taylor. Now, the video is up on YouTube for anybody that wants to see it. LordsofPain.net uploaded it. I downloaded it and re-uploaded it just in case it needed to be taken down. Now, since then, Still Horse Vachon has shut down his Facebook of his shoot name and his work name. But this gentleman, after a match with the British Lion, Tommy Taylor, called the cops on Tommy and said that Tommy, quote unquote, went off script. Now, I'm going to tell you guys just like this. Anybody that has seen my work knows I don't work with a script. And for this piece of fucking shit to tell everybody, you know what? You smell worse than cat pee. I told somebody they smell like cat pee. You smell like cat litter. And here's my thing about this. Eddie, you've been in this business a long time. Matt, you've done a lot with people in this business. And I've been in this business 7 years, the 21st of this month, early this week. I've never seen anything like this. I've seen some pussies in my time. I've been in a locker room with some pussies. I've seen some people whine. I've seen some whine. I've seen some people complain. But I've never seen anybody call the cops on someone. I've never seen anything remotely to this. I have seen someone arrested at a show because the dumbasses didn't pay their child support and they were picked up. I've seen that. But I've never seen somebody because of a receipt. Because Still Horse stiffed Tommy Taylor, and Tommy Taylor was just giving him a receipt. Eddie, you've seen this.
Yes, I have.
We've talked to Tommy. We talked to Tommy last night. Your thoughts on this, sir?
First off, I want to say this. Tommy Taylor, tremendously gifted individual, great in the ring, very professional. I've had a chance to watch a number of his matches via YouTube and other video sources. He knows what he's doing. Properly trained. Works a great match. I'm not that familiar with Steel Horse Vachon, even though I've heard a couple of things about him here and there, so I'm not going to elaborate any further. The shot that was delivered by Taylor onto Steel Horse wasn't that big a freaking deal. But yet to turn around for Steel Horse to do what he did the way he did it, I'm sorry, that could have caused a little bit of more damage than the stiff shot delivered by Taylor, the receipt delivered by Taylor. And the fact of the matter is, I think Vachon, I really hate calling him that too, Steel Rumble Pony
Tristan Spade. Call him by his shoot name, Tristan Spade.
No, I'll go ahead and go with the other nickname that we used for somebody else a while back over in Global. Rumble Pony, kind of like, or Aluminum Rumble Pony. There you go. Just went way too far and showed, folks, I gotta say it like this, how much of a bitch he really is, Wick.
Before I say anything else about it, Matt didn't. I don't know if you've seen the footage, but as much as
I
you've
know
heard
all
about
about the footage.
well, tell us what you think about it, sir.
I've been on top of this since I heard about it because it is the most wonderful wrestling story I've heard in the past fucking, 12, 15 years that I've been watching wrestling. It is the single funniest story I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, Steel Horse needs
Aluminum
to
Rumble
tuck
Pony.
his vagina. He needs to get the sand out of his vagina. He stiffed a guy for, not selling a camel clutch properly or some shit like that?
Yes, a camel clutch, yep.
Yeah. He got a receipt. The only problem I have with that is that Tommy Taylor got up way too quickly to deliver that stiff shot. He could have worked it in maybe a little bit later into the thing, but I understand that Tommy was pissed as hell.
Effing pissed, yeah.
Yeah. Fucking pissed. We're uncensored here, Eddie. This isn't Beyond Ringside.
I still don't drop the F-bomb every once in a while.
Ah, come on.
Keep
Loosen
going.
up. Anyway. As I said to my ex, loosen up. Anyway. Anywho. Yeah, it is one of the funniest stories because if you get a receipt, be a man, accept the fucking receipt because you fucking deserved it. Don't just run away and call the cops. Come on. Be a man, take what you're given, tuck your vagina away.
Wicked, let me ask you something real quick. For as long as you've been managing and have been physically involved in different situations, different matches, inside and outside the ring, you've been popped once or twice, have you not?
Oh, God, yeah.
I mean, when I first broke in as a manager, yeah, I've been popped once or twice. Yeah, even as commissioner, I've been popped once. And by the same token, you know something? It's a simple fact of life. It's gonna happen in this business.
And that's my point, Eddie. You can end your statement right there, sir.
Drink. I said this business drink.
Yeah, but no. What I was talking about. Yeah. No, I have a Red Bull, so drink.
I got sweet tea. I'm good.
So, but we have all been hit. We've all walked away. If you've never walked away with a black eye in wrestling, you're doing something wrong.
Yep.
I'm just saying that from the get-go. Now, what you were talking about him jumping up from the camel clutch, if you look right before that, Matt, Steel Horse hits Tommy in the back, which is an ultimate sign of disrespect in this business. And then he puts the camel clutch on him. After he put the camel clutch on him, he puts it on him and he lets go. He whispers something to Tommy, and I forgot to ask Tommy last night what he said to him, but then he splats him, then puts him back in the camel clutch.
Yep.
And then he lets go of him, and then he's standing over him. As soon as he gets out from hovering over him, Tommy just jumps up, punches him in the face, and what we call shit cans him, kicks him out of the ring.
Yeah.
And the dumbass now, what a lot of people don't know, and Tommy elaborated on this, Steel Horse come to the ring with the exact belt, with just a different nameplate on it, that the vintage heavyweight champion had.
Francisco Ciazzo, the King of Florida, who was defending that belt later than that night against Corey Chavis.
Corey Chavis, yes, sir. And with that being said, that's disrespectful. He showed up late for the event. He talked on the cell phone. He walked past somebody that's probably going to go into the NWA Hall of Fame with Corey Chavis. Didn't shake anybody's hands, and then come up, and Tommy Taylor said his first words to him was, "Sup?" And then he tells Tommy that he has some big matches coming up that he doesn't want to take as finish. You never, ever in your fucking life tell somebody, "Oh, I don't want to take your finish." Motherfucker, it's all a work. It's all a work. We've said that countless times. If it wasn't, Kurt Angle would be the TNA champion for his entire life. William Regal would own any title he wanted, and Big Show would be the heavyweight champion. WWE. It's plain and simple.
Yep.
but it's all a work. But when this motherfucker does this, when he goes up, and this is a big guy, 6 foot, 6'4", 250?
Yeah.
I think that's what his stats are, is 6'4", 280, but he's not 280.
I was saying about 6'2", 235, 240.
Well, his stats that they have on him are 6'4", 280. I don't agree with that. Anyways, he's a
Most
big
of
guy.
that 280 is the sand in his vagina.
It has to be.
Yeah.
That's a very good call. I want him to make me a pearl with that sand in his pussy, please. And yes, I just called his penis a mollusk because he's a piece of shit. Shouldn't be in this business. And I have a problem with that. When I beat up Paul Lee was just running his dick sucker about an event that he was quote unquote trying to get heat off of. The stupid motherfucker, whatever. This goes into the same category, and in fact, I would put him worse than Paul Lee. Paul Lee's a pussy, okay? Paul Lee knows he is. Paul Lee just talks big. Stillhorse did not know that he was a vagina, did not know he was an ultimate pussy until this happened, and then he got put in his place. He got punched in the fucking eye. I have a scar on my head where I legitimately got rammed into a steel cage in May or in June, beginning of June, and Eddie was there.
Yeah.
And as I'm going to, no, this is kind of blade, somebody kicked me in the fucking head, and the razor went completely into my skull, and I
Ow.
bled like a stuffed pig. We all saw that. Eddie, you saw that.
I saw that. I think there's still video of that available.
There's video, but these dumbasses won't give me. Shane Knowles, I want my footage, motherfucker.
Shane Knowles, I want my pictures.
That's right.
Hey, Wicked, I'll cut you a deal. You come over here, you deal with my problem. I'll come over there and I'll deal with your problem.
That sounds like a fantastic plan.
I think you get the better end of the deal, Wick.
I would go over there and handle that problem. I just want to beat the shit out of somebody. That's all it is. Maybe that's what it is.
I'll come over just-
Stillhorse.
Wait a minute, hold on. Matt, how far are you from the big Ferris wheel?
Not too far away.
Cool. Tell you what, Wick, I'm going because I want to ride the Ferris wheel. I'll bring you back a t-shirt.
That's awesome.
Cool. Oh, by the way, there is something that I would like to interject with. When the aluminum rumble pony told Tommy, I've got some really big matches coming up, I really don't want to take your finish. You know, the immediate thing that I would have responded with,
That's great news! Said absolutely no one.
great news, you got big matches coming up. Guess what, Biznitch? Worry about tonight.
And this was their Wrestle Brawl, correct?
Yeah, Wrestle Brawl 4.
Wrestle Brawl 4, this is something that they do yearly. I mean, this was a big event for them. I think he said that the heavyweight match, the main event, had been in the run for 4 months, correct? They had been built up for 4 months?
Yeah, I think it was about 3 months that the main event had been built up for. And can I say one other little thing?
Yes, sir.
Congratulations to the brand new Vintage Wrestling champion out of Vintage Wrestling, Florida. Corey Chavis, formerly one half of the NWA World Tag Team Champions, has shown that there is no repulsive attraction towards gold. It came right back to him in a singles belt last Saturday night.
Can I mention something about the title belt? Because I think I know pretty much know in my head anyway that it was double disrespect because what do you call him? The aluminum rumble pony?
Yeah.
It's aluminium, by the way. We invented a language. Say it right. The rumble pony brought a belt from a different promotion.
Correct.
Yep.
That should not happen at all.
That was not cleared either. He walked out to the ring. Obviously, Tommy C didn't know, but I've seen motherfuckers do this before. What they do is they don't say anything. Then right before they walk out, they'll pull a title out of their bag. Where literally you're like, "What's going on?" They walk to the ring.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm gonna make that walk and I'm gonna carry a title down to the ring, it's probably gonna say hot dog eating contest.
Did you want
And
it
this
from
guy
Joey
was-
Image?
Well, see, this guy was supposedly trained by the Dudleys also, and that's another problem I have with this. Is Jesse Neal. I worked a couple events with Jesse Neal before he got hurt, and Jesse was a hell of a guy. Jesse started kidding around, and he instantly, and this is the God's honest truth, we all started laughing at him. You know, and he's like, "Oh, guys, don't tell the Dudleys." He's like, "No, really, don't tell them. They will beat the fuck out of me if they know I was up here disrespecting somebody." He was just kidding, but that's how I expect most of their trainees to be. Not a fucking walking vagina. Not a walking pussy as Stillhorse was and is. And if he has kids, I hope they get gonorrhea and explode. If you ever seen Scanners, I wish that upon his entire family.
I haven't seen that movie in years. Thanks for the memory.
Actually, what I'd wish is his asshole would explode and then it would rain fire upon everybody. And then he'd have to go lick it up and then his head would explode. See, there's just no place for people like that in this business. Barry Horowitz would have beat the shit out of this guy.
Probably.
See,
Brooklyn Brawler would have.
oh God, and then fucked him in the ass.
Oh,
but,
see what?
allegedly.
I was actually watching a documentary today about this guy, Louis Theroux. I assume Wicked's probably heard of him. He went to WCW to do a fucking documentary on professional wrestling, and one of the first things he asked Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker was, "This shit's fake, right?"
Oh God! As that was at the power plant, correct?
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
Yes, I've seen that footage. Yes. See, and oh boy,
I want to see what Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker would have done to Steel Horse right there.
Why don't you ask Goldberg, because there's a story of Goldberg coming in there with his head up his ass, thought that he was going to talk, because anybody that's ever met Mr. Parker, he's a stout individual.
Yep.
And he has one of the toughest handshakes I've ever seen. I thought he was going to try to rip my arm off just to see if he could, but very respectful. And he beat the shit out of Goldberg because Goldberg thought that he was something. You don't mess with the old school guys like that. There is a Legends of Wrestling that the WWE did where they were talking about guys from the 70s.
Yeah.
And they were talking about that, and they were talking about the Brotherhood, and they showed footage of a guy trying to train with just some regular guy in Georgia Championship Wrestling back in the day. You know, I mean, it's just some guy that, you know, no Hall of Fame or whatever, and the guy was supposed to wrestle a guy in the ring. He starts working, well, he starts talking shit. Well, the guy stretches him, and he gets out of the ring, and the wrestler tells him, "Are you wanting to wrestle, or are you wanting to play?" The guy gets back in the ring. The veteran gets on all fours. The rookie gets in there, and of course he spins out of it, gets on there. He starts twerking his arm, and this is what I like. The guy starts saying, "Let me go. I don't want to do it anymore." He said, "You quit? You quit?" As soon as the guy said, "Yeah, I quit," the wrestler, I can't think of his name, I'm sorry, I wish I could, snaps this guy's arm and then lets him go. And and this is all being filmed. He starts screaming, ah! He rolls out of the wing, starts talking some shit, and the guy tells him, he's like, "I'm a wrestler. You don't say that you're a wrestler. I'm a wrestler. I do this for a living." The guy says something, the wrestler gets out of the ring and follows him, and you can hear him start beating the shit out of him in the dark, off air. WWE has this footage. This footage is on WWE On Demand, one of their Legends of Wrestling, which I love those Legends of Wrestling roundtables that they do. But that was a prime example of what would have happened to Steel Horse. I mean, he'd have got his arm broke. He would have never left that locker room. He'd never got a chance to call the police.
If I may, that's something that has been missing in this industry, in this business, and in the sport of professional wrestling on all levels, because of the fact that it's become so diluted. And I'm going to use the Spice Girls' favorite word, by a crap ton of wannabes. You've got people who get into this business, into this sport of professional wrestling. That's 2 drinks, by the way, and they go halfway through training.
2.
And they come out and go to another area. Like, yeah, I was trained by this person. And lo and behold, you get them in the ring. And this is where I have said for the longest time. And I remember when Wick was doing promotion for a company here locally in Alabama a while back. And when he was putting out the call for people who wanted to work that show, he wanted to see complete match videos, not vignettes, not snippets. He wanted to see videos of complete matches. I concur totally. And if you're going to work a show, especially if you're being supposedly brought in to work this company's big show of the first part, or Wrestle Brawl 4, I would have had video on this guy knowing exactly what he can and cannot do. And I would have matched him up accordingly, skill set wise. Unfortunately, not all promoters do that. That is why this is something Wick has said, I have said, and Tasha has said on more than one occasion, and Matt echoes the sentiment. I'm sure Corey does too, Smart Rage. We need to do a better job. Veterans in this business of professional wrestling, in the sport of professional wrestling, the promoters especially need to police who they bring in a little bit better. Because when you do it right, incidents like this don't happen, because you find people who respect wrestling.
But think about it from a promoter's point of view. I know you've never been a promoter, Eddie, but I'm going to play devil's advocate on this, bro.
Actually,
really
I have.
Shut up for this. Shut up for the segment.
Hey, bitch.
For the devil's advocate part of this, when you hear someone that they say, "Hey, Vashon," they're using the Vashon name. For those that don't know, if you're wanting to get into the business, if you're in the business right now and you're using a name, as Damon Taz was using at one time. Thank God he's decided to go with his shoot name, Damon Christopher. But things like that hold you back. If you use Taz, if you use Anderson, if you use Vachon, if you use Pillman, if you use Hart, if your name is not one of these, you're going to get heat. Luckily, Johnny Slaughter and his brother Joseph, their last names are actually Slaughter. And because he is asked that all the time, and he was told several times by WWE, if that was not your name, you would be getting heat. And I don't think that people understand that. I don't think kids understand that when they get in the business. Make a name for yourself.
Yes.
I caught heat from Fuckwad Nemesis from PCW because I had no idea who the fuck he was. I didn't even think he fucking existed. I had no idea who this guy was. I used Nemesis because I used it on WrestleMania 2000 on the video games. And so when I got in, the first thing I said was Jeremy Nemesis. That's what I'll go as. So I didn't think anything about using Nemesis. But he's a nobody. Vachon is a name that carries weight in this business between Mad Dog and Luna.
Yep.
Just to quickly jump in. Rest in peace, THQ.
Oh,
End
God,
of an era.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
And Atari went out of business, or Atari went bankrupt.
No. Atari in America went bankrupt so they can start anew. They're not dead officially.
Okay.
Yeah, they filed for protection.
So they're just realigning. I'm glad with that, but I do hate that THQ is gone. But with that being said, you go out, you use this name, and then you hear that he's trained by the Dudleys. Okay, you know that he's working in TNA as one of the aces and eights. So you know that this is going on. You know that he is doing, et cetera, et cetera. But my point is that with all this being given, if you don't have time, it's supposed to be the booker's job to look at the guys, not the promoter. Because there's a difference between promoter and booker. A lot of people get that confused. There's a total difference. Okay? You can have a promoter that is not in wrestling. It's not good, but you can. You cannot have a booker that has never been a part of wrestling, especially a wrestler. Correct. But with that being said, you have all of this in his favor, and he's a big guy. So you're like, okay, well, but it's the same thing with Manti Te'o. You took him for his word. You took this guy for the word, and they both turned out to be frauds. But if you don't go the extra mile, it's all contained into nowadays in journalism's one thing because everything's rushed, et cetera, et cetera. You have time constraints. You have to have this done. Newspapers are disappearing. There's really no excuse in wrestling, especially if it's your money that you're paying this guy to come out and work for. You would think that you would know his shit. What you were talking about, Eddie, is when I was asking for talent, the reason why I told them, and for those Matt Dogs heard this 1,000 times, but I'll say it again for our new listeners, you put a full match on because you get to see, and not just one match. Anybody can have one really good match. Anybody can have one great match. But if you have two really good matches, that's saying something. And anybody can look good on a highlight reel. That's what the fuck it's supposed to do. Mm-hmm. I want a match. I want to see your entrance, and I want to see how you get in the ring. I want to see how you exit the ring. I want to see how you hold yourself. Because there's a guy named Biohazard that wrestles out of Texas. Yep. Hell of a guy. Good look. But every time in his promos, he told a girl at AWE, I fuck you in the ass and shove your head up your ass. You say this at a TV taping. Great look. Trained out of Texas, but his problem was, he goes, man, I'm on the shit, man. I'm on the juice. I don't give a fuck what you're on. You're about to be able to sing because Ryan Bishop was about to fucking beat his ass, and he knew it. He apologized. He went back out and apologized to the fans. But it's just things like that. If you take somebody's word for it, you're like, hey man, I got this great guy.
Hey, Wick.
His name's Matt Denton.
Hey Wick. Hey man, look, I'm booking this show next week,
yes.
And I hear that this guy, who's a friend of a cousin's uncle,
yes.
sister's cousin, twice removed, has really got some good credentials. I haven't had a chance to see him work, but I'm going to take this person at his word that he knows his shit and he knows his way around the ring. You think I'm good? You think I'm good for that? Am I okay?
Eddie, here's the best part about it, and you know what, boss? He works cheap.
Oh God, screw me now.
That's it right there. He works cheap or he works for free. That's the main thing. He works cheap or he works for free. Right
Mind
there.
if I check for Ford's name?
Sir?
Dustin, the Dream Machine, Ardeen. Nobody?
Hey, sounds like a great name. Let's bring him in and book him. Come on, we'll put him against champion next week.
We actually did a what maneuver on this dude. Paul Isadora brought him to our attention, basically. He has a resume. Not a highlight reel, not full matches. He has a fucking resume.
And I bet he's told who he's worked, right? He's like, I've been in the ring with such and such.
Prove it. Show me.
I will show you. I do have...
No. That's what I'd be telling him.
He was talking about them. He was talking about in general. He was talking about to that guy.
If you're going to have a resume, you by God better have a DVD to go along with it.
But that's the thing, though. You don't tell anybody who you've worked. You don't when you're trying to get booked somewhere. You're not like, hey man, I worked against Bull Buchanan. I worked against Kyle Matthews. Motherfucker, it's not who you know, and it's not who knows you. It's who's willing to say that they know you.
Let me actually read off this resume.
Go ahead.
He actually has titles held, starting from first to last. APW 2000 Cruiserweight Champion at age 15. APW 2000 Tag Team Champion with Tommy Hilfiger. Not even fucking kidding. At age 15.
Special referee Calvin Klein.
APW World Champion at age 16. IYWF Heavyweight Champion at age 17.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
You mean, which came first, the title or the driver's license?
Definitely not the fucking driver's license. Beat Adam Windsor and Paul London for the Funkin' Conservatory Tag Team Championship at age 18.
I'm listening now.
IWC number contender at age 19. Then the next section is stars I have wrestled with and meet.
Okay, I got
right there. Oh my God.
Because you say the Funkin' Conservatory, I'm going to be on the phone to Dory Funk Jr. so fast, dude, it'll turn your hair white and make it stand up twice as high as Wick's. That's how fast I'm on the phone if you mention something like the Conservatory.
Yeah, but Dory remembers everybody that's ever come through that place.
Exactly. That's why I'm calling him.
But once again, I mean, yes, that's a booker doing his job or a promoter doing his job. It should be the booker's job, but still,
trust me, it gets worse. Right at the end,
20 seconds.
My terms.
Oh fudge!
I want $50 a match. A big push for a big push for first match in this way. First match, I want the Nevada States Championship title in a ladder match. Storyline is this: 2 matches before mine, I get pushed by Brian saying in 1 month we will witness the debut of a great indie wrestler, a man who was born in the state and has come back home. He is the Dream Machine, Dustin Ardeen. Then on the show, after that, you say it again, but you also ask if anyone has the guts to take me on. The champion comes out and says submission. I come out and say, let the fans decide. That or ladder. We do ladder. I want the world title by or in January.
Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to have our guest after we take this break from Monstrosity Championship Wrestling, Professor Morte. Thank you to Jonathan Williams of Wrestling with Pop Culture for setting this interview up. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to take our first break of the evening. When we come back, Professor Morte, this is the To Be Determined show, and I have my terms. My terms are do not change that URL or Matt Denton will stick his dick in your wife's ass. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the To Be Determined show, and I want to ask everybody right now, who was actually doing the air guitar when that was being played?
Yo.
Like a Magic Woman, Santana.
I was doing scare guitar.
Scare guitar. Speaking of scare guitar, that gentleman you hear right now is Mr. Black Magic himself, Professor Morte. Professor, how are you doing tonight, sir?
I am absolutely fantastic.
We appreciate you stepping out of your lab on the far side of hot Atlanta and really just stepping up to not only talk wrestling and to talk about your other endeavors you have, sir, but one thing I really love, true and dear to my heart, I'm a huge horror fan, sir, and we know you are as well, sir. Tell everyone, how did it all begin? How did the Mad Professor, come about, sir?
Well, in Transylvania, there's not a lot of television. So I was missing out on a lot of, late night movies and stuff, it's really tough in Transylvania. So I moved to the States and they had this great film culture going on and, I just got involved in spook shows, and here I am today, you know, performing spook shows for ghouls of all ages, and, you know, getting all the monster movies I could possibly get, you know, in this great country where everything is, you know, very readily accessible. And, you know, I love those old, Mexican wrestling movies with the monsters and the luchadors. And that led to me meeting up with some wrestlers and getting involved with starting my own wrestling franchise, the Monstrosity Championship Wrestling.
Now, with that being said, I have to ask you from the very beginning, what is your favorite monster, sir? Of all the monsters that have ever been created, your favorite?
All the monsters. That's a tough one. It's a tough one. I mean, I don't know. What's the greatest monster ever? It'd probably have to be Godzilla because he's the biggest and the baddest, and there's no way to destroy him. But you know, you've got to love the classics. And Dracula. Nothing beats the shape-shifting, blood-sucking vampire known as Dracula. He's probably my favorite. I love the creature from the Black Lagoon too. That's a good one. I mean, that's a tough one. You know, top monster. You know, King Kong. There's a lot of top monsters out there, but I'm probably going to have to go with the biggest and the baddest, the king of the monsters, Godzilla.
Now, you've done something that a lot of people, including myself, never thought was possible. You have been able to infuse your love of horror movies, of monster movies, sir, and your love of wrestling. I mean, how did you come across wrestlers willing to do this? Because with us all being so serious, I mean, you have some badasses on your show, sir. How did that all come about? Did you just have to wonder, hey, wrestlers?
Well, no, you know, the way I looked at it is this. For wrestling to go anywhere else, you know, it's already, you know, out in the public that it's sports entertainment. So why don't we just take it to the next level of entertainment and involve monsters and, you know, storylines involving genetic manipulation and time travel and, you know, all the crazy things that nobody else has the balls to actually, you know, exercise and look into, because not with monsters involved in wrestling, there's no taboos. And I really think hooking up with these guys that were, you know, they were kind of trepidatious, you know, because there's a certain level of respect. Like, can you really have the Alabama Wolfman wrestle the Invisible Man? Is that disrespectful to the art of wrestling? Or is it one of the greatest things you can do with performance art, which is what wrestling is? I mean, this is a topic I'm going to debate time and time again. And I think that what we're doing is very important, and I think we're going to bring a new angle to wrestling that needs to be exercised, not exorcised, and people need to get, you know, they need to get that stick up out of their butts and have some fun with it.
Cool stuff. Just one quick question for you. Gun to the head, pick one. Bela Lugosi or Boris Karloff?
Oh, Bela Lugosi.
Smart man.
And I love him. I love them both. But Bela Lugosi was so real. He felt it to the point that it's tragic and dangerous. And Bela Lugosi, you know, he took it to the next level, you know, but in my opinion, the all-time great is Lon Chaney Sr., and a lot of people don't understand him because they don't know how to watch silent film. But his movies are sicker and more horrific than anything being made today. Like, if you could see Where East is East or West of Zanzibar, you would know how low a true horror film can go under the spell of Lon Chaney Sr.
If I may, Professor, one of the greatest situations in play has been the number of, you mentioned Godzilla a little while ago. It's been the number of different entities that Godzilla has taken on. Godzilla's taken on King Kong, Biollante, Megalon, Mothra, Gigan, Space Godzilla, and even some that I can't pronounce while sober. Which do you feel has been the best rivalry for Godzilla throughout the movie career of the giant lizard? And is there any chance that any of these could possibly be eclipsed by the real life drama we see played out between John Boehner and Harry Reid up in Washington right now?
Well, that's a big political question there. It's a question for the ages. To me, Godzilla's best foe is probably himself. So Biollante is a pretty good call on that, because how do you fight Godzilla? You fight Godzilla with Godzilla.
Right.
So you would use Biollante or Mechagodzilla, but personally, there's nothing crazier than a three-headed fire dragon from outer space of King Ghidorah. I prefer seeing those battles because they're just, it's weirdness taken beyond weirdness, you know. It's, you know, we all know that it's great to see Godzilla wrestling and monsters and guys in rubber suits beating the hell out of each other, but somehow Ghidorah doesn't look like a guy in a suit. It kind of transcends the humanoid aspect of these man in a suit things. So I'm partial to Ghidorah. But Godzilla, I'll watch Godzilla beat hell out of anything. He's talking about a wrestling champion. Godzilla, possibly the greatest monster wrestler the world has ever seen.
By the way,
now
go ahead.
I was just gonna go ahead, Eddie.
No, I was gonna say the parody spoof about comparing the Godzilla wars versus the political wars in Washington. That was completely a spoof. I respect for not going there.
Oh no, that's fine. I don't understand politics or religion.
Neither do we.
My religion is monster movies.
Professor, you're doing something that a lot of people have been able to do in some time as well. You're bringing back the monster movie, sir. Tell us, if you will, what you're taking time away. But you just premiered White Zombie, the cleaned up, the remastered edition of this, sir. Tell us, if you will, a little bit about this.
Well, what we do at the Plaza Theater, I do this show called the Silver Screen Spook Show. It's been running for 6 years now, and we show classic monster movies with a live show. I got my dancing go-go ghouls, and I do magic tricks and illusions, and we do the show free for children, so they get raised right, and they're not, sitting at home playing video games or listening to crap music. And they are getting educated and learning about Ray Harryhausen and Mario Bava and all the fantastic things that Vincent Price did. And, I like to show the classics because these days they're not showing them on television anymore. So what are you going to do? You're going to have to present them and let people see these things that are hard to see. And we do these shows every other month at the Plaza Theater. Like I said, we're taking a little bit of a break now because we're working on a couple things, including this Monstrosity Championship Wrestling. But even at Monstrosity, we're going to be showing some of these trailers and things from these old movies and giving people an education about the classics.
Professor, how do you feel about Elvira? Because she seems to have been one person or a lady throughout the years that has done just that has always brought forth the spectacular, the old monster movies, the B movies, et cetera, et cetera. How do you feel about Elvira? Because, she hasn't really done anything in a long time.
I want to know where she's purchasing her baby's blood from, because she looks amazing. You know, you get up close on that thing and you're wondering, you know, what is she doing to maintain this ghoulish figure? I think she's great. I've always liked her show. Vampira was a friend of mine, and when Elvira sued her, I thought when Vampira sued Elvira, I thought that she was a little bit out of line because I didn't see the reason for that. All these horror hosts can get together and get along, and I think Elvira's doing a great job. I mean, it's hard to believe that she's been at it for almost, 25, 30 years now, and she still looks, you know, I wouldn't mind taking a role in the sleigh with her.
If I may, there's been a site that has, and I'm going a little bit off script, technically off script on this one. There's a site that I've been a fan of for a long time because of the fact that they have been a distributor of some classic horror movies and sexploitation movies. It's called Something Weird Video. Have you ever had a chance?
Great. Yeah, I know Mike Vraney.
Yeah.
He's a personal friend of mine. He does great work. I love all of his stuff. He was responsible for getting Philip Morris and a couple guys involved with that Monsters Crash to Pajama Party, which did a lot for exposing spook shows to people all around the world. And I love Mike Vraney's work and what he's done to save film. He's probably one of the greatest film historians. You know, he's up there with Martin Scorsese of what he's done to save films and to resurrect dead film. He's a great guy with good taste in tasteless films.
Amen. Because, I mean, that's a site that I first found out about quite a few years ago, and I've been doing business with them. I think they were originally in Seattle, Washington when I first started dealing with them, and they have helped me find some lost classics that I'd heard of but had never been able to see. And has this been a place that you've drawn inspiration from?
Oh, absolutely. I've definitely drawn inspiration, and I mean, there's nowhere to get this sort of thing outside of Something Weird. I mean, Mike Vraney is personally responsible for bringing a lot of that Mexican wrestling monster stuff to us.
Yep.
You know, he's a big wrestling fan too, you know, especially with the Mexican stuff, with the luchadors and all of the phantasmagoric wrestling that they do south of the border.
Wicked?
Now, Professor, with MCW, you have a wide array. Who is your favorite of all these monsters to sit back and watch and to watch them paint their tapestry of carnage at the asylum?
Well, I got to say this. Out of all of the great shining pentagram-like stars of Monstrosity Championship Wrestling, I think the one that shines the brightest, with the slightest shine, is Dracula, the flamboyant vampire. I'll say flamboyant because I won't say gay, but he is the most terrific worker that we have. I mean, Dracula, when he comes out, the crowd goes wild. I mean, they actually rip the eyeballs out of their skulls and stomp on them on the floor. They don't know how to act. They light their clothes on fire when Dracula comes out. It's amazing.
I've heard that Van Helsing actually discovered Dracula's his kryptonite, if you will, sir. The naked women. Ooh, I heard about the Playboy.
I know that was a cheap shot. That was a cheap
yes,
shot.
sir.
I saw him use
I agree.
that. I think that's the first time that pornography has been used as a detrimental weapon in the wrestling ring. I was shocked myself. Good
well,
thing
obviously
that
you're not
show
a fan
was
of
18
Sonny.
and over. Sonny.
Are you aware of Chip and Zip and Sonny? the body
Sonny,
goddess, because the whore, Sonny, because she used her pornography as an extreme weapon. I just think that you guys did it a little bit more tasteful, sir. But I've got to ask you, you have Phantom Troublemaker, a gentleman there that does announcing for you, sir. Am I correct?
Yes, you could call it announcing.
How did you find him? Because he's so hard to find, sir.
Well, he found me.
Ah.
We frequent some of the same bars and late night spots, and I've actually known Phantom Troublemaker for a long time because he's into some very dark things, and we've known each other for years in other circles. So when he puts the mask on, it's Phantom Troublemaker on the run, and I've got his number. He was the perfect guy to wag that tongue. 'Cause I tell you, that guy, if there's one thing he likes to do, is drink booze and talk smack, and he's good at it, and he likes to keep the party rolling. And I figured he'd be a great mouthpiece for MCW. So he was one of the first guys I called in on this thing.
Now I have to ask this. You have someone that's near and dear to my heart, someone that I have managed over 1 billion times, Calm Like a Bomb, Pandora. What is it like to have such badass women there? Not only are you having these men go out and these men monsters, you actually have female monsters as well, and you get some of their best work up there. I mean, how did you do this?
Well, it usually involves chains and whips and chains. Because controlling Pandora is absolutely impossible. Sometimes I just have to lock myself in a cage to keep myself safe from her, because there's no controlling her. She comes busting out, she's gonna do what she's gonna do. And she was so misbehaved at the last show that we had to chain the doors and bar her from getting in at the last show we did. But believe it or not, Pandora is returning with even more ill-spent fervor at this next show. I don't even know what I know what she's capable of, and I'm sure that she's going to be capable of great, terrible things at this next show.
Sir, I will tell you this. There's a secret to controlling Pandora. She has an off word. She's like Mercy, the bodyguard of Lex Luthor. But I can't give you that secret word. I do apologize. I have to use that for, just in case scenario she goes off out of kilter.
Well, I tried hypnotizing her. It didn't do any good.
She's not human.
I know. She's inhuman. I love that.
She is really a monster. Of all the people you have, she is the one I do believe is a mutant.
Yes. Maybe subhuman.
Maybe. She may be a chud. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I see you got that. I know you get that joke. These motherfuckers, they don't get that
joke.
I
know.
Yes. But
they don't know what a chud is?
I don't think they know what a chud is. I know Matt Denton does. Matt Denton's from London, and they have chuds all the time. Good day, sir. I'm not going to do the hello, governor, because he hates that. But,
no, I hate any impersonation of the British accent, so I'm going to kneecap you.
I hate.
But I just wanted to
I'm from England, you son of a bitch. My family. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
So, are you guys going to get the Yeti in?
The Yeti! I'm so surprised you guys have not seen the Yeti yet.
Oh, no. Well, I gotta say, Bigfoot cleared the room. He came out and he busted up all those dirty bastards from Alabama and Kentucky, those wolf men. He busted them up, and who knows, maybe his cousin, the Yeti's going to show up. All I can say is Thursday, March 7th at the Asylum.
Uh-oh.
The night of total terror. Wrestling with Pop Culture's anniversary party. We're going to give out the championship belt. And I must say, this belt is the most coveted piece of property, not only in the wrestling world, but in the demonic world, in the monster world. There's nothing that can stand next to this belt, tempered in the woeful tears of the unavenged. This belt will be placed along the girdle of the greatest champion of Monstrosity Championship Wrestling on Thursday, March 7th.
Just a quick question about the championship belt. Have you taken any precautions in case anybody who holds the belt tries to use it in a satanic ritual?
This belt is a constant satanic ritual. This belt, it's the Necronomicon wrapped in leather. There's no way out. Once you strap this thing to yourself, you know that you are imbued with the greatest satanic power.
Professor,
it's not the Book of the Dead, it's the Belt of the Dead.
The Belt of the Dead, yes, sir. How can everyone get in touch with you, sir? How can they get tickets for the March 7th event, sir? And if anyone wants to know any more about Monstrosity Championship Wrestling, how can they find out, sir?
Well, the best way to research us is to go to the Monstrosity Championship Wrestling page, or to the Wrestling with Pop Culture page. And we've got a .com and a Facebook. So you get out there and you research that stuff, and you might find a print bigger than Bigfoot.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Professor Morte for Monstrosity Championship Wrestling. Thank you so much, Professor. We're about to take our next break of the evening. When we come back, guys, you know, it's the internet wrestling community's darling, Smark Rage, and his segment, The Smark's Rage.
Bullshit.
Once again, shut up. Thank you, Professor, once again. Ladies and gentlemen, check out Monstrosity Championship Wrestling, March 7th. That is a Thursday event at the Asylum. Ladies and gentlemen, we're coming right back. The To Be Determined Show, right here, Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
Welcome to the Georgia Wrestling Report. I'm Mark Grayson from GeorgiaWrestlingFans.com and the5minutemark.com. Each week, I'll bring you 5 minutes of news and views from around the Georgia independent professional wrestling scene with a healthy dose of shameless self-promotion. Let's get right to the shameless self-promotion. Friday night was Classic Pro Wrestling's very first show in Franklin, Georgia. 211 paid people, 5 great matches. I'd call it a success. I am extremely excited about the fact that Fred Yehai and Kyle Matthews have joined forces as a tag team, New Tradition, and will be taking on all comers. They'll be back in Franklin, Georgia on February 1st, taking on Hot Commodity, Tommy Pinarelli, and CB Suave. Should be a great show. We'll also have Robert Gibson from the Rock and Roll Express, Superstar Johnny Swinger, Rob Adonis, Chip Day, and so much more. Be sure to join us. Check out ClassicProWrestling.net. Saw some great matches this weekend also last night, especially at the Georgia All-Star Wrestling Show in Rome, Georgia. Kyle Matthews and Kevin Blue went to a 10-minute time limit draw. The crowd was screaming for 5 more minutes. They got what they asked for, and with less than 3 seconds on the clock, Kyle Matthews pinned Kevin Blue 1, 2, 3 as the bell rang, and was victorious. Folks, keep your eye on Kevin Blue. The young man has really grown up and has shows the potential to take his stuff to the next level. Each week, I'd like to start featuring one young wrestler from the state of Georgia that you may not have heard of, that you want to keep an eye out for. Kevin Blue is just one of those young men. From Future Wrestling Federation, the Southern Wrestling Association, he's starting to move around the state and take more bookings. You want to watch out for this young man. He is taking the state by storm. Also, we've got the Nightmare to Remember 3 show coming up, February 16th, 2013, at Bay Springs Middle School in Villa Rica, Georgia. Bob Armstrong will be there accepting a Lifetime Achievement Award for his son, Brad Armstrong. The award will be presented by Ron Simmons. Folks, this show is such a celebration of Ted Allen's life, you don't want to miss it. There'll be all kinds of legends, all kinds of great local wrestling stars. The main event will feature Kyle Matthews taking on former NWA North American Heavyweight Champion Sean Tempers. Should be a great match and a great show for another great cause. All proceeds go to the Ted Allen Sunshine Fund and helps fund the Gulf Coast Wrestling Reunion in Mobile, Alabama. Also, March 16, 2013, Universal Independent Wrestling presents a humongous show with Diamond Dallas Page, Jake the Snake Roberts, the first UIW 6-person intergender match with Murder One and Bull Buchanan, along with the beautiful Nina Monet, taking on Shane Marks, the Jagged Edge, known as the Empire, along with, pound for pound, the toughest woman wrestler in the country, Pandora, Johnny Swinger, AJ Steele, and more. Tickets will go on sale soon. You don't want to miss that show. I'm sure it will sell out. Today I'm headed to the Jason Speed Memorial 6-man tournament. Cannot wait to actually sit down and enjoy a wrestling show from start to finish from the confines of my chair. Nice to only have to worry about what I'm going to eat. Folks, make sure to check out GeorgiaWrestlingFans.com to see where your upcoming shows are and plan ahead to be there. I'm approaching the 5-minute mark. Be sure to check out 5minutemark.com for more information on all the subjects I've discussed. Thanks for joining me. I'm Mark Grayson.
I started going cold turkey. Well, at least when I'm in the car.
I know I shouldn't do it, but it's so hard to stop. That's why I hide it from myself, so I won't be tempted.
I used to do it all the time. I stopped by locking it in my glove compartment.
My friend used to do it way too much. Now I turn it off when we're in the car.
My solution is simple. I just don't do it.
There are lots of ways to stop yourself and others from texting and driving. How will you stop? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the To Be Determined show right here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. We just talked to Monstrosity Championship Wrestling's own Professor Morte. Thank you, Professor, for coming on. Remember, March 7th. It's a Thursday night show. It will be at the Asylum in, I believe it's Atlanta, Georgia. If not, it's right about Atlanta.
I hear that show will be absolutely awesome.
Absolutely.
That I'm going to go puke now. Sorry.
I'm telling you right now, if the Yeti shows up, oh boy. The Yeti!
Shit's gonna go down.
I knew when you said something about that, I was like, they do actually have a Bigfoot that wrestles on that, so it was just great. It was weird that it took that long for a Yeti joke to come up with all the business. But let's just cut right to the chase. This man has been foaming at the mouth. If he was ever in a rage, it is this week, and I guarantee you a lot of times he and I agree on things, but we're going to agree on probably 99.9% of what is about to be said. Without any further ado, the internet wrestling darling Messiah Tanaka, Toshubiku, Hiroshima, the Hiroshima of insulin, Corey Smart Rage, and the Smarks Rage. Corey, what are you raging about this week?
Well, thank you for having me on, Eddie Lane, Matt Dent. Thank you guys for having me on. So I'm sure everybody, if you've been listening to the show or have been on the internet this week, have heard this this about steel horsing, steel horse, this guy
Hashtag.
Tristan Spade. Hashtag steel horsing, steel horse Vachon. And if Luna Vachon was alive or Mad Dog Vachon was alive, they would fucking kill this person. This guy had the balls, the audacity to call the police because Tommy Taylor, a man that you guys interviewed earlier today that was on the 4-hour show about this incident, Tommy Taylor stiffed this guy because I don't know why he stiffed him. He stiffed this guy. The guy called the police. Okay? Now, wrestling's about give and take. Okay? You take one, you give one, you give one, you take one. You know, be a man. It's not ballet. You're going to get hit. But for this guy, Steel Horse, and I'm not going to call him Vachon because that's disrespectful to Luna, rest in peace, and Mad Dog Vachon, and the Vachon family. This guy has got the balls to call the police and said he was jumped. Now, who does this? In the wrestling business, a guy that has probably been up and down the road, paid the dues, spent money, didn't make money, got a hot dog for his pay, got $20 to call the police because you got stiff in the ring. And generally, I've been talking to a whole bunch of indie wrestlers, guys in TNA, guys in WWE about this. What happens in the ring stays in the ring. For this guy to call the police is the most unprofessional thing that can probably be done in the business, except for no showing a wrestling match. Correct, Eddie Lane?
Yep.
Been in the business 20 years.
Yep.
Wicked Nemesis, been in the business, almost 15 years.
Actually, I think, and I even said this earlier, and I think I may have told you this. I have more of a problem, or just about as much problem, not with him calling the cops, but for telling the cops that Tommy Taylor, quote unquote, went off script. Corey, you've known me for 3 years, dude. Do you know me to ever go on script? Have I ever had a fucking script?
No.
Then what the hell makes you think Tommy Taylor, the British Lion, would? And that's what I think. I think it's totally fucking. That might as well have kayfabe on your fucking license plate.
Well, Jesus, I just got done eating some pizza.
Is that available?
And I had a strudel with my.
Oh my god!
You ate a strudel after what you've heard? Come on.
Yeah.
You ate the people's strudel?
Dude, you must be hungry.
It's a cream horn.
This guy, Steel Horse,
shit.
Tristan Spade, whatever the fuck he's calling himself this week, has disrespected the business. He has disrespected everybody that he has wrestled, everybody that has come before him, everybody that has come after him. Now, I don't claim to be part of the business. I'm just a wrestling fan. But Jesus, dude, why would you call the police and do that? You have ruined every chance of ever going to TNA.
Again.
Ever. WWE. Okay? Why would you do that? Now, I just don't understand it. I saw the match. I've watched the match 6 or 7 times. I've listened to the interviews with Tommy Taylor. I've talked to people in the business that have said, what the fuck?
I think Vince McMahon said, what the fuck? I mean, Vince McMahon even acknowledged this.
And let me quote Dr. Tom Pritchard.
Yes.
I asked him the other night, what he thought. He said, and I quote, this is on Twitter, you can go back and watch it, look at his Twitter feed, and I quote, Steel Horse should pack his quote unquote gear and never step in the ring. What happened to this business? Arrogant pussy, unquote. I'm just trying to wrap my mind around it. Even I've been hit. Jeter went off on me and knocked me out on PCW when they were Concrete Gorillas return to We Are Three. I got laid out. I didn't call the police.
Yeah, but didn't you shit your pants too?
Don't say it, Matt.
He's 6'9", almost 400 pounds. Wouldn't you shit your pants? Okay.
No, he made the kid piss in his pants.
Slapped the shit out of you. Did you call the cops on him?
You know, the point being is, you know, you're done in wrestling. And if anybody ever hires you, shame on them. Shame on the wrestler who wrestles you. And they deserve to be blackballed. Okay? And I don't know how much of a raise this is. This is just my thoughts, my opinions. And I've been thinking about this all day, all day today, but for the past 3 days. What am I going to say? What am I going to say? Because it's been talked about to death. The wrestlers have given their opinion. Me as a fan have given my opinion. It's just disrespectful. You know, what does that say? What does that make you think of the fans that hear this? Oh, well, you know, this guy called the police after his wrestling match because the guy, he hit me too hard. I've been slapped in the face by Wicked Nemesis for holding his mask and putting said mask on. Okay? In the Villa Rica.
If the mask doesn't fit, you must slap that piece of shit.
Right.
Nice.
Okay,
oh, Johnny Cochran's rolling around his grave.
Enough about that.
And anyways, Corey, for the record, Mad Dog Vachon's not dead. You said you killed him earlier at the beginning of your rage. How dare you kill Mad Dog Vachon?
I'm sorry, Luda's dead. Mad Dog's alive. I apologize. Another thing, while we're on stupidity in wrestling, stop asking Edge when he's coming back on Twitter. The fucking guy has said he's not coming back. If he wrestles, he will fucking die. His back is done. And even if he was still wrestling, he said it on numerous interviews that he was ready to wind down anyway. He was 20 years in the business, 5 on the indie scene, and 15 years in the WWE, which is like doing probably 20 or 25 years. The guy saves his money. He's in North Carolina with his dog and his fucking shitty haircut, and fuck you wrestling female fans. Oh, he cut his hair. It's hair. It grows back. He saves his money. Let the guy enjoy his life. Same thing with Shawn Michaels. Okay? He's made his money. He's living his life. He's enjoying. Life's not all about pro wrestling for these guys. They do this shit 300 days a year. They don't want to be that character anymore. Even Edge said, if you look at his documentary, I never introduced myself as Edge. I always introduced myself as Adam. He's that guy. He doesn't want to be that character. He doesn't want to be almost 70 years old like Ric Flair and still trying to be Ric Flair or Terry Funk.
Terry Funk can still go.
Well, Terry Funk can still go.
Hold on. Let me tell y'all something. Say that shit to Terry Funk's face. Terry Funk will knock your dick in the dirt so fast, Matt.
Terry Funk can still go.
Terry Funk can still go, exactly. Terry Funk is not one of these. Ric Flair can still go if he.
No,
Terry
notice I didn't say anything about. I didn't say that he couldn't go. I'm just saying that he keeps on retiring.
Oh yeah, oh god, yes. But you know what that is? Right. Money. It's all about money.
Of course,
because those old timers, you know,
dollar.
No guarantee contracts. Back when you were NWA champion.
I don't forgive the guy for making $1. I watched his match with Tommy Dreamer on Netflix. They did something and Terry Funk could barely get down to the ring. It was sad to see him as a former shell of himself, but if he thinks he can still go out there and perform to the best of his ability, that's fine. I don't even know how much time I got left with this 7-minute rage.
You're about 5 minutes over.
Yeah.
How much time do I got left?
You got about 5 minutes
You're
over.
Dude. You've been over 6 minutes right now. Yeah. Well, we've just been letting you go.
To be fair, the fucking Steel Horse deserves it, so, you know, we'll let you slide on this one.
Dude, I've got to jump in for a hot second. Whoever found the graphic, and Wick, I see your other name on there. Victor Smith posted it on my page. I'd made the reference to it about Bugs, Daffy, and Elmer doing the "You Want to Steal Horse and Now We're Waiting." I just saw it, dude. I am popping like a freaking tractor trailer load of Jiffy Pop, plain and simple.
It was funny because you mentioned that Tuesday last night when we did the interview.
Yeah.
And we all laughed about it, and then it showed up, and we know that was not heard by him. And I thought that was kind of synchronism right there, synchronicity right there in its very essence that you were just mentioning that. And my other name being Enoch Tessarian, as most people know.
Yeah.
But I love that. That was hilarious. I saw that. I was like, holy shit, Eddie's gonna pop for this.
I thought
and obviously you did.
I thought you and Mabo were giving me crap because of the way I said it, because it's like, that's one of my favorite cartoons of all time. Wabbit season, duck season, baseball season, Bugs, Daffy, and Elmer Fudd. And like I said, the first thing that really ran through my head, other than hashtag steal horse shit, is the simple fact that I was thinking of Bugs, Daffy, and Elmer doing the Wabbit season bit. You want to steal horsey now? Well, wait till you get home. And lo and behold, there's the damn cartoon, and it's like, pop! Damn it, pop!
Really quick, before we let you go, Corey, what were your initial thoughts when you first saw this? Because you and Sugar Dunkerton were the first people I saw say something about it, and then I responded. What were your initial reactions? And then tell everyone how can they get in touch with you, and then we'll let you go, sir.
Initial reactions, I thought it was all part of their storyline. Find me on Twitter at SmarkRage, Facebook.com, The Smarks Rage. That's my time. That's my rage. Hey,
and you can also find him at your local Waffle House.
Yes, that's true. I got coupons. Free waffle.
No. Corey is coupons.
Coupons, yes.
Ron White.
Coupon. That's my time. That's my rage. And if you don't like it, get fucked.
Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, Corey Smark Rage right there, with his The Smarks Rage. Once again, I agreed with him, wholeheartedly about the Steel Horse stuff. Corey, obviously you can hear in that, there's certain things he doesn't understand. When you go back, you will see, we spoke about it at the beginning of this, show, why he did what he did and why everything played out as it played out. Personally, I've had guys, say that I stiffed them. Hell, J-Rod, who we've had on the show, said I stiffed him one time. Damon Christopher, I slapped Damon Christopher so hard one time that my own brother, Ryan Bishop, come run at me. He's like, dude, it's a work. It's a work. I'm like, you stupid fuck, get out of my face. But anyways, and yes, I did say that.
And he let you live?
He kiss my ass. So Ryan Bishop kissed my ass. And tomorrow is his birthday, so happy birthday to Ryan Bishop for tomorrow. So everybody just flood his Facebook fan page with happy birthdays tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. Orion Bishop may have let you get away with it, but I know your brother probably didn't, so there's still a receipt coming your way.
No, there ain't no receipt. Yeah, he gave me a receipt. I'm going to tell you how he gave me my receipt. He speared me so hard one time, and this is totally off you. He speared me so hard one time that it shattered my belt. At Global Championship Wrestling, we got to the back and I was holding my pants up. And he's like, "What happened?" I said, "Your fat ass speared me." But at that time, granted, nobody wanted the spear from him.
Whoa.
Oh man,
Matt was going to say.
No, you were digitizing again.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
For everybody who don't know, I'm also part of the Bionic Man. Yes, I have fought off a Sasquatch. I'm just saying.
I was going to say.
Only one person gets that joke. Eddie's the only one old enough to get that joke.
I know it.
Somebody will hear this. Somebody will hear this on YouTube or on Ustream. Like, ha, I have that Sasquatch. And yes, it's Steve Austin, the $6 Million Man. But
yeah, and it was Andre the Giant as Bigfoot.
Was it Bigfoot or Sasquatch? It was Bigfoot, wasn't it?
The same thing, technically. Sasquatch, Bigfoot.
No, not the same thing. The Yeti, Sasquatch, and Bigfoot are not the same.
You're right.
And neither is the Abominable Snowman.
Abominable.
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 He's going to go make some yellow snow cones.
Another Bugs Bunny reference. I got 2 Bugs Bunny references today. I'm happy.
No, that's a Monsters Inc. Monsters Inc. Whenever he goes at the end, he's like, "Welcome to the Himalayas," and he makes things for Tully and Mike Wazowski.
You know, shifting gears for just a second, I've been going over hashtag that word or the variants therein, and I've been watching so many different people, from fans who are tried and true fans of professional wrestling. Got away from not drinking that time. All the way to brand new fans of professional wrestling, all the way to people who have worked in professional wrestling, whether it be a year, all the way up to former world champions who have made references to this gimmick, this word, this cult. I'm calling it a short-term flash in the pan cult phenomena, because everybody has found it, and even people who don't know what the hell it means are taking the time to find out what the hell's going on. And it's like you said last night to Tommy Taylor during the Beyond Ringside interview with Tommy. If there is someone who genuinely deserves the respect for more people to find out about his body of work, it is Tommy Taylor and people like him. People who are properly trained, who do it right, who are respectful to this business of professional wrestling, as well as the sport, first and foremost, of professional wrestling. Make it a double. I mean, it's people like him that genuinely deserve for people to find out about him, for more people to find out about who he is and what he does.
Well, I gave him the question or the statement, about how does he feel, knowing that after all of his hard work and all the things he's done and everything he did with WWE, that he honestly may be remembered for this incident. And it sucks for this guy. I mean, because up until at the beginning of my career, obviously I was associated with my brother. And then whenever I beat up the fan, it was like that's all anybody wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
It was like people were like, hey man, tell me what happened with the fan. I'm like, well, he jumped up there and I beat him down with my cane. But it took forever for that, for people to kind of forget about that, where it was like, hey, my work. And this is something that has gone absolutely global. This is an epidemic.
Pandemic.
But it comes to a point, gentlemen, where these guys, these disrespectful guys are everywhere. They just don't call the cops on you. But the showing up, late to a show, showing up late with a cell phone, they want to go out and they want to pull out this belt that you've never seen before, this belt that they're like, hey, I'm a champion in New York. You're in Florida. And these guys do it all the time.
Yep.
These guys do it all the time, especially at a mega show as this was.
And also a belt that looks exactly like the top title in that particular federation too.
Correct.
And I've never heard of that now. Now that I've never heard of. I've never heard of somebody having a title look. And Tommy told us, because I told him, I was like, oh, it was similar to that? He said, no, it wasn't similar to it. It was the exact title with different plates on it. And I was like, oh. And that's Still Horse right now screaming in the background. I don't know if you guys can hear that.
Aluminum roll pony.
Aluminium?
Thank you.
Not a problem.
Anyway, I just want to, just before we continue, I just want to quickly go back to that Dustin Ardeen resume.
Yeah.
Oh God, yes. Right. We should have this every week. We should have something.
Conditions on his resume. My character does not submit unless for one of two ways. Either the Stone Cold way or the Brett way in Survivor Series, spelled Sivivor, because he's a fucking retard. Survivor Series 93. Also, I don't do hardcore unless one of three things happen. One is a Freud. One is a Freud that is already 3 matches in. 2 is a challenge. 3 is an order from a higher power in a storyline, which I assume is Vince McMahon, because it was me, Austin! It was me all along.
The higher power.
Number 4. I keep titles with me after I win them. If a deposit is needed, I will pay it. Number 5. I get a table to sell merchandise and sign autographs at every show. And finally, number 6, I get access, with one S, to the ring at all times, whether, as in rain, precipitation,
oh my God,
yes, or not, Brian is there. Ladies and gentlemen, Dustin the Dream Machine Ardeen.
That would be called Ruckin' Fidiculous.
Actually, there's a running joke with one of the Dream Machine vests that the guy wore. It's been making the rounds between across America, with, like, I think Hacksaw Jim Duggan had a photo with the fucking vest. No actual Dream Machine there. His vest got stolen and distributed amongst indie wrestlers and veterans working the indie circuit across America.
I want that vest. If anybody's listening, I want that vest. I want that vest.
No,
I want that vest.
Dude, I want that vest. You forget you're talking to the vest maestro over here.
That is true. That is true. Eddie has a wide array of vests.
Right now the collection stands at 33.
And he is not joking. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, he is not joking. He really has that many vests. Eddie has a vest. Eddie has a vest for every weather.
Yeah, I do. I'm not kidding. I've got every...
No, we're talking about the weather. I'm sorry how he spelled it. I knew it. As soon as you like weather, I was like, he misspelled it. And you're like, as in rain and shine.
No, I got one for rain or shine, and I got one for which other time. Fudge nuts.
Oh my God.
Wow. Are you sure you're not the Dream Machine?
Ask another person who abides in this house. Dream is the last thing I am.
Is this like an hour for Welcome to My Nightmare?
Nah, just an excuse to talk about cat kids. And
I know that there are some people that are actually listening for reviews, wanting to talk about wrestling. We have
we got about
station.
We went off script. Call the police.
Oh God, I know. Yeah, Jesus Christ. It's called the To Be Determined Show.
And
so,
what we talk about is
right
to be determined.
Exactly.
There's actually a list of who trained him as well. Like, his training
no.
Yeah. No, trust me. Jackal, Axel, Stormtrooper, Iron Warrior, AJ Styles.
Bang.
Wow, he dropped that one in. Dory Funk,
Mixelplick.
Shirley Doe, and Super Hentai, and ECT.
Oh, so Dory Funk. Just not Junior Senior, just Dory Funk.
Yep.
I'm the ghost of Dory Funk and I trained him.
Oh my God,
by the time he wrote this resume, he had been training for 4 years. 4 years.
Sounds like me during foreplay.
And he's a fifth in line trainer at APW 2000. Second in line trainer
Don't go to APW 2000.
Right? And apparently Dory Funk made him his training assistant.
Oh my God, man, okay. We're not politically correct here, and I'm definitely not going to be politically correct. That's what you call a retard.
Yeah.
He's not mentally disabled, he's just retarded. That whole thing is retarded. How can how can he get that far and that long into the business? You know how come? Because he paid money. That's all it's about. They just want your money and just say, okay, just go on. He should have been stretched out and sent out a long time ago.
Oh, God.
Eddie talks about a guy named One Man Crew, who I think is a complete fucking joke. A lot of people are like, but everybody knows where he is, and they've talked about him getting respect in Korea.
Or Japan.
That's what I think about his respect in Korea, man. Fuck that fucking piece of shit.
Oh,
I don't give a fuck. He's a retard. If anybody has ever seen his promos, oh my God. Holy shit. And then what he did to Bull Buchanan by trying to shoot on Bull Buchanan, and Bull Buchanan made him tap in the middle of the ring. Made him submit in the middle of the ring, legit, and then pie-faced him to get him out of the ring. Classic Bull Buchanan. Eddie, you gotta say something really quick before we go to break.
Go ahead and take it.
Actually, hold on.
Okay.
Cherry on the Dream Machine pie. He has a list of frequently used moves, and his finisher is a secret.
Guys, there is no such thing as a finisher. I can't stand it when people are like, I'm going to hit you with my finisher. I'm like, what?
Wait, his finisher is a Seacrest?
A secret.
Oh, well, just as bad.
No.
Literally, it says finisher. That's a secret. But in his frequently used moves, sharpshooters, moonsaults, full Nelson slams, full Nelson DDT, I don't know how the fuck that works, a Hurricane Rana, frog splash, ghost pin, rolling pawn pin, inverted bulldog, and depending on who I am wrestling, lots of reversals, and moves to weaken a certain body part.
Hey, Wicked, with all due respect, may I please take this one out?
Yeah, please do.
Okay. He says his finisher is a secret. I said his finisher could be a Seacrest. Well, guess what? We'll find out what that finisher is after the break.
sacrifice for Xenu. Ladies and gentlemen, there is something that has happened in professional wrestling, and it's called.
Was it Dean Ardine's finish? Dustin Ardine's finisher.
That's a secret. That's a secret.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were gonna find out what it was after the break.
Oh, actually we have, and it's actually we have just found out that. Is this true? His finishing move is called the sphincter. It's where he actually takes his penis and sticks it in his own ass. That's what I've heard. Allegedly.
Exactly. Sphincter.
I thought that was called. Isn't that called recycling?
Recycling. Now I sound like Oprah.
Shoot.
We need to get Still Horse on here. We have like a Manti Teo sit down and be like, Still Horse. I'd like to chastise him like Oprah did Lance Armstrong. Do you feel like a fraud? She was so mean to him. I love it. That's Oprah for you.
By the way,
and Lance was so dismissive. I loved it. So arrogant.
I have not had a chance to do this, and I regret the fact that I've waited this long to do it, but I'm still trying to find the time to actually do it. I am going to come up with the graphic that looks like a newspaper headline just to see who responds to it. And it's going to have Manti Teo on one side, me on the other, and the clip above, Manti Teo stole my girlfriend.
I think she's probably Samoan. But despite her racial handicap.
And that's what I'd be giving her. Samoa. That was one of the 5
Girl Scout cookies are going to fly through the roof this year for Samoas. But anywho,
good save, thank you. By the way,
this Sunday we have a Royal Rumble.
By the way, speaking of good saves, I hope you've got one more left saved for this coming Saturday night in Pell City, Alabama.
There you go. Good lead in. Thank you. Because I was about to go. I was like, well, we got Sunday. And then Saturday we have. This is what everybody's really turned into to listen to. But go ahead, sir.
It is Global Championship Wrestling making their return to the Pell City Civic Center in Pell City, Alabama. And the host of this show this evening, the one, the only, the Oracle of Ominous, the Architect of Intellect, the Wicked Nemesis, will be managing the GCW World Tag Team Champions, or GCW Universal Tag Team Champions, or GCW Galactic Tag Team Champions.
There you go.
I'm sorry, when did they defend this on Mars?
They didn't. They defended in Uranus. However, from that vantage point, in a 14...
I wouldn't be surprised if they did defend it in Smart Creatures Anus. It's big enough.
Space. The final frontier.
Deep space. Because you have so much dandruff and you wear black shirts. But yes, we will be defending the
wait.
titles.
Denton Trek. Denton Trek. Deep Space Wine. Okay. Now, actually, here's the fun part of this.
Straight edge, motherfucker.
For those
when do I get to have sex with the green alien?
Whenever you can find her. But the thing about it is, this coming Saturday, and here's something you may not have put out there, Wick, because we broke the exclusive on GCW Radio this past Sunday night. The 4 teams that are involved in the gauntlet match, the GCW Tag Team Champions, the Unlucky Charms, Damon Christopher and Mike Knox, as managed by the Wicked Nemesis.
Just call him Mike Knox.
Chris Knox. Oh God, I'm so sorry. Oh, I was reading the TNA website. I am so sorry.
No.
Damon
Mike
Christopher
Jackson did that in a promo.
Oh God, help me.
Mike Knox, get out of here. Now,
Shoot.
Chris, if you go out there, I'm going to punch you in the vagina.
I would too.
Don't go out there.
Punch him in his,
and we didn't.
Punch him in his cookie puss. Damon Christopher and Chris Knox as managed by the Wicked Nemesis versus Full Throttle, Trevor Eon and Joey Thunder and Lightning. From there, Showtime Shane Fox and Scotty Blaze. From there, Xander Stone and Aiden Solo representing Team Underground. The team.
What is their catchy name? What is their catchy name? They got to have a catchy name. They're like Underground. It was Underground Voodoo when it was one of my good friends.
When it was Aiden Solo and Mudbone.
Yeah, Mudbone. I love Mudbone. Mudbone's going to destroy the Inhuman Fly. I can't wait to see. I hope he unmasks him. But they are the X factor in this. I'm just going to go out and say that.
They really are.
In this match.
They are going to be the wild card in this because they don't team together that often under the banner of GCW. But see, here's the catch to it. The team that wins this 4-team gauntlet Saturday night in Pell City will receive a first-round bye in the 2013 Junkyard Dog Memorial Tag Team Tournament, which will start the following Saturday, February the 2nd, when GCW returns to Palmerdale at the Palmerdale Homestead Community Center. So there's your little extra incentive to motivate the boys there.
Well, I will tell you this personally. I think that Damon and Chris may lose on purpose just so they can beat somebody's ass the next Saturday. With that being said, though, we all know there are guaranteed contracts and there are incentives, and we will gladly get paid the next week to be off. So I'm more excited by the fact that we get to get our hands once again on Joey Lightning and Doom Trevor Eon.
Yeah. I know you're looking forward to that. We have not had an
encounter with Aiden Solo and Xander Stone. I like them. They're okay guys. But they can very easily get their jaws rearranged or get their necks snapped. Just ask Scotty Blaze.
And that's another team that you need to be worried about.
Watch what you threaten. They might call the cops on you.
There you go.
Hashtag steelhorsing.
Hashtag, I'm sorry, folks, I have to say this, and I said it earlier, hashtag steal horseshit. However, I know that Scotty Blaze and Showtime Shane Fox are looking for a little bit of redemption against Damon and Chris after what happened recently in Palmerdale. So right now, the target isn't just on the Unlucky Charms, because the Unlucky Charms I know are targeting 3 other teams, but by the same token, those 3 other teams are also targeting each other, because not only do they want to move up in the tag team rankings, they want that first round bye in the JYD Memorial Tag Team Tournament. You know, you make the reference to wanting to go out and just beat somebody up, so you may go ahead and somebody else may win the gauntlet, but I know you. And I know the sense of urgency and the sense of hostility that you have instilled in Damon Christopher and Chris Knox. You've got these 2 men sitting ready to fight the Afghanistan war by themselves and win in 5 minutes flat. So,
hey, Eddie, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Why do we wear T-shirts with big symbols on the front of them?
That is because you are a unified family. You are not a...
No. It's because we have targets on our chest.
Okay.
We want the attention. We want it. That's the reason why those titles are there. We've told the GCW front office, we've talked to UIW, we've talked to PWA, we've talked to NWA Top Rope, we've talked to Vintage Florida Wrestling, we've talked to NWA Wildside, we've talked to NWA Anarchy, we've talked to everybody. It doesn't matter. Your best tag team, you can take your best tag team in any state, in any promotion, and we will fight them. We will fight them. I cannot wait for this. You know who's going to win? Pell City's going to win.
Yeah.
Because those sheep are going to get to witness a real tag team warfare. Now, I have to ask this because Damon and Chris and I talked about this. Is this going to be like a 4 corners match, or is this going to be like the gauntlet we ran in Canton?
This is going to be a pure gauntlet. 2 teams will start. The team that loses leaves. The team that wins stays, and the next team comes out. And once again, until all 4 teams have cycled through. So once again, there's a lot on the line. There's money, there's pride, and there's that bye in the first round of the JYD. You made a reference to a good friend of yours and also one of my, I would normally say, contemporary thorns in my side. I'm referring, of course, to the Mystic from San Monique, Mudbone. Mudbone challenging the Inhuman Fly, the one-man swarm, for the Global Championship Wrestling television title in a career versus career match, but as the exclusive was broken on Sunday night for GCW Radio, this match will be a 2 out of 3 falls match. So you've got the test of endurance, the stamina, the intelligence of 2 great and enduring GCW stars in Mudbone and the Inhuman Fly. The gold's on the line, and a career could be ended, and will be ended actually, this Saturday night in Pell City, Wick.
Is that going to be the main event?
This is a triple main event. There are...
I want to so bad be, you remember old WCW days when they would have like a special, match, like when Jushin Thunder Liger wrestled Brian Pillman, everybody, even Sting without his face paint, were out there.
Yeah.
Man, I would love to be in the audience, and I know, Damon, Christopher, and, Chris Knox would be as well, witnesses. I have nothing but respect for the Inhuman Fly. Nothing but respect. But Mudbone, Trevor Doom Eon, and Joshua O'Hagan are 3 gentlemen in that very company GCW that I have the utmost respect for. 3 gentlemen that have gone above and beyond what they should. 3 gentlemen that could hold the flagship to that very company. 3 gentlemen that have great matches ahead of them. You have Micah against O'Hagan, correct?
Yes, that is going to be the third
for the title.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Yes, sir, go.
Okay, you actually just laid it out there. The rematch is finally going to happen from, I believe it was Fall Brawl. The championship changed hands. Micah Taylor, by submission, lost to O'Hagan. O'Hagan, the new GCW heavyweight champion for Global Championship Wrestling. The rematch is this Saturday night in Pell City, Alabama at the Pell City Civic Center. Bell time 7:30. Tickets are only $10 a piece. The gold is on the line. Mr. O'Hagan defending against the former champion, the leader of the underground, Micah Taylor.
See, this is just a card stacked from top to bottom. This is a card, you know, the internet pay-per-views that they do, the iPay-per-views.
This should be
something,
one.
Yes, this is one of them. This is what Dan should do. Dan should have put this on internet pay-per-view. I'm just saying, because I'm telling you right now, we're going to beat the shit out of those guys. I'm telling you right now. Chris Knox, let me tell you guys something. I got a video from Chris Knox. I've had to stop putting these videos up. Chris Knox sent me a video, and I swear to you all, he is squatting. Chris Knox is squatting 1,250 pounds. I told him, I said, dude, if I were to do that, I would explode. What would happen to me is what I would want to happen to Steelhorse. And he said he's ready. He also has been in 2 fights, since, when was it? January 3rd we were in Palmerdale?
January 5th.
January 5th when we were in Palmerdale. He's actually had 2 fights since then. Won one tournament, lost another tournament. The first tournament he's lost in legitimately 2 years. So, I mean, he's been on fire in the brass knuckle tournaments that he's been doing, because he does do them across the world.
Yep.
That is his legit shoot job. And Damon Christopher, I mean, has just been killing it. I mean, the man is so agile to be that big. I'm very honored to have been associated with this guy. As I've told everybody, you know, January 21st of this month, or obviously of this month if it's January 21st, but was 7 years into business for me. 7 years.
Congratulations.
Damon Christopher, Johnny Slaughter, what the fuck am I saying? Brian Alexander beat my ass and set me up as a wrestler. Like, I trained as a wrestler. I got my ass kicked as a wrestler. And that's why I'm one of the best managers today, because I did that. Now, Jeff G. Bailey, Reverend Dan Wilson took me aside and showed me the ins and outs to be a real manager. Not just somebody that can get heat, not just somebody that can help get his guys over, but somebody who can command and somebody that can control, a real ring general. There's not many managers out there that can control a match. There's not many managers out there that can help a match out and actually be able to determine where a match goes, and if something's going on, tell them, hey, this match needs to be taken now. Go, go, go. Thank God that these guys took me under their wing and set me up and showed me the right way to be a manager. And it could have only been those 2 guys. Now you have guys like Caesar Black from Territory League who are doing that as well. But also gave a special shout out to Danny Only, to Corey Hollis, to Pandora, to my brother Orion Bishop, to Chip Day. These guys are guys that even Will Owens, guys that I was in the car with for repeated amounts of time. Joey Lightning for a long time. Joey Lightning was with us. And I want to say thank you to everybody that's ever paid a ticket to see me, to boo me, to cheer me because I have word face, to hear me when I was announcing, when I was doing color commentary. For anybody that's ever asked for an autograph that I've turned down, the reason why is because I'm a bad guy. I'm not supposed to sign autographs. For anybody that's listened to Matt and I, because Matt and I have done a lot of shows together on many time slots, on many, many websites. Eddie, you and I have been doing Beyond Ringside together for almost 3 years. In October will be 3 years I've been on. That's crazy. 3 years straight.
And speaking of anniversaries, this coming Sunday, January the 27th, is the anniversary episode of Beyond Ringside. We drafted you into this crap.
Now, before we can say this now, it's the 4th year, it's the 4-year anniversary for this inception.
Yes.
of Beyond Ringside, correct,
Yes,
sir?
yes, because the original version of Beyond Ringside started in the late 90s here in Birmingham, Alabama, our home area, at a little station called WZJT, Planet Rock 92.5. Bob Montgomery, the owner. The original producer of the show was Late Night Lloyd Riley, and the original version of the Ringside Roundtable was yours truly, then known as Big Daddy Guff Grayson, who went on to become multi-time heavyweight champion in the southeastern U.S., the Machine Guff Grayson, Alexis Carrera, to add the ladies' perspective, and also Mad Dog Dan Sawyer came in a couple of times, High Speed Chase Pearson came in, the Man Called Evil, the original Hitman BDC, Ryan Atcock, Evil, of course, Adam Smith, the understudy, Rogers Alley, and the Zen Master DMC, Doug McGarry. I just wanted to make sure I didn't leave anybody out. And they went on from, it was the original four, and when we moved to the Alabama Radio Network and went satellite for a while, we took it directly to, and thank you to Mike Wood and everybody up at the ARN studios, for all of their hospitality back during the top of 2000 all the way through 2001. And when I was talked into bringing BR back, 4 years ago, I'm thinking, okay, we can take it to the web, try to have a little bit of fun, cut up, goof off, shoot the shit. And I did not think for a minute that we would have the response that we did. And to you, to Mabo, Mark Bowman, to Chase Pearson, Andy Hudson, who I left out of season, the second incarnation, Andy Hudson, Horseman's Advocate, my apologies. I did not think that we would have people like Dan the Beast Severn more than one time, Jeff Damelin, the host of Deadliest Warrior, Scrap Iron Adam Pierce 4 times, Ace Rockwell, Sean Tempers, Jim Fox, Dick Foley, Bob Trowbridge, Bill Behrens, Bruce Tharp. We've had more.
Hector Macho Camacho Jr.
Yes, Hector Camacho Jr., Bobby Ches, 3-time World Boxing Champion in 3 different weight classes. Merciless Ray Mercer was on with us recently. And
Jerry Lawler.
The King Jerry Lawler,
yep.
Yes. I mean, Austin Idol, the Midnight Express, Ivan Koloff, the original assassin, Jody Hamilton. I mean, the arms.
When I say this, Eddie, don't start crying on me, Nigel McGuinness.
Yes.
Oh, so funny.
No, tremendous. I mean, McGuinness was a tremendous interview, and I enjoyed every minute of it. And I'm going to say this real quick. If you have not had a chance to, and Wick, I'll get you my copy so you can watch it, of The Last of McGuinness by Nigel McGuinness, the documentary of his farewell tour to in-ring competition in professional wrestling. It went back to his roots. This is one of the most poignant and heart-wrenching videos that you will ever see. Now, the version that I have has the extras in it. And as soon as all of us get a chance to really watch it, Nigel McGuinness will be coming back on Beyond Ringside. And we're going to have a chance to go in depth in a full roundtable discussion about The Last of McGuinness. Dude, let me tell you this DVD rocks.
Matt, you've got to be on there for this.
I need to be, if I could just get my hands on a copy. But I don't have any money right now because some bastard didn't pay me.
Matt, we'll talk off air about that.
Yes.
Second of all, Beyond Ringside, my wife has corrected me. In October, it'll be 4 years that I have been on with you, so I have missed the tail end of that. But I want to tell you thank you, because you invited myself and my brother Ryan Bishop on, and we just kind of just shot the shit, whatever, 2 weeks went by, and you're like, hey, you want to come on and do another one? Come on, and then I started setting up a few interviews, and all of a sudden I got sucked into the madness.
Yeah.
No, but it is because of you, and yes, you last year ran yourself so ragged doing the show that you actually got sick. A lot of people don't know that. Eddie got really sick last year, and it was because he was running himself down between what all he was doing with GCW, the fact that he legitimately had 4 other DJing jobs, and he was doing Beyond Ringside, because he was doing Beyond Ringside on Saturday mornings, Sunday nights for 3.5 hours. Remember, we used to go, and we were also doing a Wednesday show at that time.
The Midweek Meltdown.
The Midweek Meltdown. Brooks Logan come up with that, but
yeah.
But this Saturday, Pell City, and then Sunday, the 4-year anniversary. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're a fan of professional wrestling, or just like to talk about professional wrestling, this is it. This is your weekend. From what's happened with Tommy Taylor last weekend to what's going on this, if you're in the Southeast, if you're in Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, Florida, South Carolina, or North Carolina, I'm telling you guys right now, you need to be in Pell City this Saturday. And for anybody around the world, you need to tune in this Sunday night. Special time, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening tonight. Thank you to Professor Morte for coming in. Matt Denton, how can everyone get in touch with you, sir?
Get in touch with me on Twitter at Words from Prison. Or if you're in the area on Saturday, come see TNA live. TV tapings, motherfucker. And you can, if you're sitting near me, you will be able to see me swear at Hulk Hogan from very, very, very far away.
Are you going to have a sign?
Probably not, because I can't afford cardboard right now, because I have literally no money.
No money.
No
Sorry
money.
to hear that. Fast Eddie Lane, how can everyone get in touch with you, sir?
The easy ways. At Fast Eddie Lane over on Twitter, FastEddieLane.com, the full website, LAYNE, Facebook.com/Fast Eddie Lane. And when you get a chance to, please check out BeyondRingside.com. And this is my moment of pure total shamelessness. I turned 47 years of age on the same day as the Beyond Ringside anniversary show. And you know something? I wouldn't have it any other way to be able to hang out with some friends and have a good time doing what I enjoy doing. This Sunday.
You're old.
Dude, I am MC T-Rex. I am DJ Jurassic. I DJ'd Adam and Eve's prom there. By the way, quick reminder, this Saturday, check out for this Saturday, for our friends in Central Alabama, Eastern Georgia, GCWPro.com for Global Championship Wrestling's event this coming Saturday night.
Eddie, did you lay down a beat when God said, "Let there be light"?
No, I opened the curtain.
Oh, okay, fine.
Eddie is so old school that they burnt down the school and rebuilt something on top of it. That's called Scorched Earth, baby. For those that don't know, everybody's like, Scorched Earth? Read a fucking history book, motherfuckers. You can get in touch with me at Wicked Nemesis on Twitter. Wicked Nemesis Enoch Tessarian Facebook fan page. Unlucky Charms Facebook fan page. And, of course, the Merchants of Death Facebook fan page. Wicked Nemesis Enoch, or maybe it's just Wicked Nemesis. I'm so confused with YouTube now, how they have that set up. Just look at Wicked Nemesis and then you'll see it. Bohemian Grove Revisited is the name of the page. Several new things up. We have past archives, the audio version of the To Be Determined show and some Beyond Ringsides as well. Full episodes up on my YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. For everyone that got in touch with us. Yes, sir?
Ladies and gentlemen, in case you haven't found out yet, and I think Wicked may not have found out yet, the To Be Determined show is now available for free podcast and download on iTunes.
Yay! See, I didn't know that. There you know, check us out on iTunes as well. Go out and support local independent wrestling. I'm telling you, gentlemen, ladies, boys and girls, it is the backbone of professional wrestling. You will see the best and get the best bang for your buck at the independent shows. For Mad Dog Matt Denton.
Steel horsing. Hashtag.
For Fast Eddie Lane.
It's been a great ride, and we've only just begun. And by the way, real quick, immediately following To Be Determined, the exclusive Beyond Ringside interviews with Corey Chavis, Gabe Sapolsky, and Tommy Taylor are next up.
Right there consecutively. You cannot ask for anything more when it comes to professional wrestling chatter. I am the Orc of Ominous, the Architect of Intellect. Join us Saturday night, Pell City, Alabama, GCW, the Pell City Civic Center, Subconscious Samurai, Common Knowledge, Damon Christopher, Mr. Terminal Intent, the Primal Chris Knox, the Orc of Ominous, the Architect of Intellect, the Wicked Nemesis, as the Unlucky Charms defending the tag team titles live in a tag team gauntlet. Ladies and gentlemen, next Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, Tasha Simone will be back from her assignment. And, of course, the Smart Rage. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. This is the To Be Determined show, Beyond Ringside Radio Network.